It was because Donovan sent me Josh Pate's playoff picks. I don't know if you saw them. They're trash. So he has Ohio State, Alabama, which is all right, and then he has Oregon and Penn State.
Yeah,
And
not,
so
not Josh's best.
no. Oh, Driftwood. I don't have a shirt. I don't have no swag, no merchandise.
You got no swag. You got no
Nope.
no Driftwood University,
No DU.
the alma mater.
Nope. I did go there apparently, but nope.
You did go there, yeah.
Nope.
This I was aerospace geology, study of rocks in flight.
I was indirect linguistics.
Indirect linguistics, yes. For
Sarcasm.
those for the listeners, that's sarcasm.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh, well, howdy. My name's Eric,
And I'm Berto.
and this is Totally Biased Podcast. We are now into sort of official game week. Last week was week 0, but now we are sort of into the thick of it. So we're gonna jump into week 0 recap, and
Yep.
let Bert take his recap of last week.
All right, bet. Like I said, it's a little bit weird. It's technically your second week, but week 0 was, week 0. It's only really 2 games, USC versus San Jose State and Notre Dame versus Navy in Ireland. Not much to talk about. They both won. They both blew out. But to note, USC, as I would have predicted, the over-under was at 66. It ended up being 56-28, which speaks more on the USC defense, to be honest, that they're still trash. They apparently got some guys transferred in. People thought their defense would be better. It's week 1, or week 0, whatever. Defenses usually take a little bit more time to get acclimated and figured out rather than the offense, so that makes sense. But it just didn't look good. 28 points against a team that's like a high school team against USC, not good. Caleb looked good. Zakarian Branch, freshman wide receiver, looked stout. Caught like a 50-yard bomb touchdown where he juked like everybody else, and then got like a kickoff return or punt return for a touchdown. So he looks really good. The offense looks good as we all expected. But the defense, man, you can't overlook that, even though it is week 1. The Pac-12 has a lot of offense, as we've talked about, with Washington, Oregon State, Oregon, even Utah. You can't overlook that. So to recap reactions, I guess their defenses look good. Could be suspect. Could be an issue. Lincoln Riley is still the same, I guess. Doesn't ever figure out the defense. Always has a great offense. So we'll see. Hopefully they figure it out. If not, if they do that again, they're going to lose games. They're going to not make the playoffs that way. So that's my recap on that one. The other one is a little bit different. Notre Dame destroyed Navy. I think it was 42-3 or something. And it was like 42-0 at one point. And they came out guns a-blazing. Honestly, great job of Marcus Freeman there. Being in Ireland, like we said, it's a week 0, the first week game of the season. You got to figure all that out, especially traveling so far, being in a weird distance, environment, all that. You got to get the players right. Those guys were on. Offense was clicking with Sam Hartman. Defense was on, destroying Navy, which, I mean, we talk about this. They run the triple option, but as we all know, that's essentially called the great equalizer, right? Like, even if the talent levels are, the parity is whack, the triple option is the great equalizer. Even with that, did not get phased. Notre Dame's defense was not phased. They looked great. So on the opposite side, Notre Dame's defense looks great, not like USC's, and their offense looked good with Sam Hartman. So I'm not ready to say they will make the playoffs, but I am starting to get on the hype. I believe they are good. I think they are real. They have a lot of interesting games to play. I think they play USC and Ohio State later. Those will be clutch. But coming off on just 1 week, USC does look not as good, does look down, and I'm up on Notre Dame. I don't know if Eric, you have any other comments or reactions?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just echo the biggest takeaway, or the two biggest takeaways is, Caleb Williams is what he was last year. Branch looks,
Here's what we thought we were.
One data point, Branch looks very impressive.
Yep.
And like you said, that defense, that was the thing that I took away from it. It just looked too easy for a team with the talent level that San Jose State has to move the ball. And obviously, they're kind of a high flying team in terms of offense, so I sort of get it. But to give up essentially 400 yards of total offense to a team that isn't in the Power Five, and you're supposed to be, a playoff contender, is just not a good look. So, still have some questions even about the rushing
Yes.
aspect of USC's game. So we'll see. It's one data point, but I will say that my faith was sort of it faltered a little bit.
Yep.
But yes, dry brisket, dry brisket Lincoln. And if you don't know dry brisket,
that's
you can
hilarious.
go look up dry brisket Lincoln. But Lincoln Riley attempted a brisket and posted it on Twitter and was very proud of it. And I assume he coaches defense at the same level that he cooks brisket.
Oh, got him.
Actually, I don't know which one's worse. The brisket looked horrible, but it still
got him
looked
on
better
multiple
than that defense.
levels.
But yeah, and then Notre Dame, I think their record is probably at the end of the season not really going to be indicative of how good of a team they were. I just think that they're going to face some very, very good teams this season. Like you said, Ohio State. They face Clemson as well, and USC. And I just think that those games, that's at least, I would suspect 2.5 losses, predicting at least 2.5 losses there. Which is going to probably put them somewhere in that 9-3 range for the season, which is could put them out of playoff contention.
Yeah.
So, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Sam Hartman looks like he's going to be pretty good.
I mean, he was pretty good at Wake Forest for a few years, so it makes sense. Makes sense. He's the most experienced guy there, so it makes sense.
Yes.
Probably more than Marcus Freeman, to be honest. So.
I was about to say more than Marcus Freeman.
More than their head coach. So, yeah. Yeah.
We'll see if Marcus Freeman's, what he's worth this year. We'll see if they're really. I mean, I would assume that Notre Dame fans are kind of sad that they lost Brian Kelly at this point. But
I guess. I mean, not to go on a weird tangent, but Brian Kelly had almost done what he could at Notre Dame. Like, he'd gotten them in the playoffs, I think, twice. He got a national championship in the 2012 year against Alabama and lost. So, like, there wasn't much more he could do with the recruiting ground where he's at.
Yeah.
Against these, Ohio State, I think he lost once. Clemson, he lost once, and then Bama. And like, you're losing against the top 3-4 dogs. Like, I don't think there was much more he could do. Maybe Marcus Freeman can figure it out, but I just don't see it. But I think they look good. I think they look good off in one game, though. Like you said, one data point, though, so don't know yet.
All right. We're going to jump into sort of our next segment. I think it's going to be sort of a one-off for the season, right? It's more of a predictive, but it's smash or pass, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to go team by team, picking some of the most important teams as we see it, or some of the most interesting teams in terms of their over/under season win totals. Yeah. Yep. So we're just going to run through. We're going to go kind of quick. I'm not going to probably give a lot of background, but we're just going to give sort of whether we're smash,
which side you would go,
smash the over or pass, right? Pass meaning we're taking the under, right?
There you go.
So let's start with the team with the best projected record, the 2-time national champions, the Kirby's.
Fighting Kirby Smarts. The fighting Kirby Smarts. Yeah, their over under, not surprisingly, is at 11.5. So they lose one game, they hit the under, but I would smash a pass on that. Or smash over on that. Smash over. I think they go 12-0.
Yes. So on Eric Gilbert's Forbert team here, I'm gonna go with smash. Smash the over. I don't think they play anybody that they're not going to beat by double digits.
Tennessee's the only team, maybe.
Nah. Nope. Not even close. It won't be double. It'll be double digits.
It'll be 7.
It'll be 17.
I was going to say 7 or 10, but okay. Next one. All
right. Michigan at 10-5.
10.5.
10.5.
Smash. They're going to get 11 at worst if they lose to Ohio State. They won't lose to Ohio State and Penn State. They're going to be at least one of them get 11. I think they get 12.
Yep. I see their floor at 11.
Yeah,
Smash. Ohio
yeah.
State 10.5.
I think I also take the smash on that one. Once again, I think they're going to be Penn State. They lose 11. Easy, I think.
Yep. I'm smashing. I think at least 11. One of those two teams I think is going 12-0.
Yep, yep,
Sorry, Penn
exactly.
State. All right.
Sorry, Penn State's going to go 10-2 though. That's still good, but just it's not those two. Yeah.
Alabama at 10.
The problem here is that it's not a half number. So I have them at 10-2. I'll get to that later, but I have them at 10-2. So is that a pass? That's a tie. That's what do I do with this?
It's going to be like dry hump. You're going to dry hump the line.
All right, do I have because I think it's gonna be exactly 10.
Okay.
Not counting like if they do postseason stuff, right? Just straight 12 regular season.
Yep.
Yep. I got them at 10 too. So that
yeah.
yeah.
I'm smashing the shit out of this line. Yeah. I think their floor is 11-1. And I mean I don't see really anything other than conference champion as well. Right.
I agree. I agree, conference champion, but I'll get to that in a minute when this take comes up. But I still got them 10-2.
Okay.
Tease it.
Okay.
Tease it.
Foreshadowing.
Tease it. Yep.
All right. The Fighting Dry Briskets, USC.
God. What is it at?
Also, USC being University of Southern California, not University of
We gotta
South
put
Carolina.
USC UCE, right? In
Yes.
West or East.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's 9.5, right?
9.5.
I'll smash. I got them 10 at least. 10-2 at least.
I will also smash, but just a little bit less lightly, or a little bit lighter than some of the other ones.
Smash. Okay, you don't go as hard.
I did predict them to be, sort of in that playoff contention area.
Yeah. Same.
But
same.
Having one data point now
changes stuff.
I
you learn
back.
stuff. You develop. You grow. We know more now, so we can make
know
differences.
A lot more. Yeah,
but I still got them at least 10 wins.
Yeah, I do as well. Clemson 10.
Smash. I think they only lose. I think they're actually going to go 12-0. I'll give you that. I think they beat Florida State, which is the only team they actually have to face.
Yeah, I'm going to smash, but I'm looking at more of 11-1.
You think they lose to Florida State? Or Duke or UNC?
I think we'll get there, but I don't know if yes is the answer.
Okay. Fair.
Yes is the answer.
I'm still smashing, so it's good.
Yes. Miami at 7.5.
Crap. I have not looked at their schedule. I don't believe in this team, but I don't. Shit, I have to look at the schedule. What do you have? I think I know where I'm going.
I'm going to pass.
I think I'm going pass, but I think they're gonna squeak out 7-8 wins. So I'm struggling. So I'll take the smash just to be different. I'll take they go 8-4.
Okay.
I have to reconfirm. I'll with a asterisk on this one. I have to check their schedule because I think they're right there.
Let's just run through it real quick.
Run through it. All right, bet.
Miami of Ohio.
I'm gonna take just a W. So yes, W.
Texas A&M.
Loss.
BCU.
Win.
Temple.
Win.
Georgia Tech.
Win.
UNC.
Loss.
Clemson.
Loss.
Virginia.
Win.
NC State.
Loss.
Florida State.
Loss. I guess they're going under.
Louisville.
Win.
Boston College.
Win. So it's 7. Fuck.
Okay. I'm going under.
Damn it.
I'm hitting the under.
Damn it. I guess I'm going past them. I thought I could get 8 out of there.
Yeah, we both passed, right?
Yeah. I thought we could get 8 out of there.
All right. Speaking of,
what we got?
Texas A&M.
Oh, why? Why do we not put this one last? 8.5. So this is going to take a second. I know we're going quick, but
yep, that's all right.
With the knowledge I know, with the talent level, with the
knowledge
head coach,
he knows.
Well, yeah, they're just totally biased. I am wearing a lot of maroon. And it's not the other maroon school. The talent level, the recruiting the past 4 or 5 years, the head coach, even though there's suspect there, the new OC, the scheme, the field, the schedule. I can't think of them going. I have them 9-3 or 10-2, but this 8-5 is literally the biggest tease I've ever fucking seen because you know they always go 8-4. So they put it at 8-5 for you to take the over because you know it's better, but also because you know they're gonna hit 8-4. What am I doing though? Am I doing it? Fuck it. I'm gonna do a smash. I'm gonna go
Hell
nine
yeah.
at least.
Hell
Nine and
yeah,
three.
brother.
9-3 at least.
Hell yeah.
Damn it.
Yep.
Damn it. I'm gonna rue this day. I will rue it. I hate this.
Well, you and I are gonna Eiffel Tower this line because I'm smashing.
God damn it.
I'm going over. We'll talk
I'm
about it
trying
later,
to
but
I'm trying to
I
figure
see
out a
way over.
euphemism. I'm trying to figure a euphemism or how big of a tease this is. And I can't figure one out. But this is the biggest tease I can think of right now because it's right there.
I
Ah,
mean, yeah, looking at the schedule, looking at kind of everything, and that, like you said, the talent.
like my two losses are Tennessee and LSU, but they could lose Alabama, and then they always screw up somewhere. Like I hate this. I'm gonna take the smash though. I'll take the smash.
Hell
Fuck it.
yeah, smash. All right, Florida at 5.5.
Let me check. I think I have them right at 5-7. Fred, if you know yours, say yours.
I am passing on five and a
Yes, I'm
half for
passing.
Florida.
I'm passing. 5-7 is what I have them. So, yep,
Yes, I had them at, I think, 4-8.
yep. Okay, there you go.
Oregon State,
What's it at?
8.5.
Do you believe in DJU?
I do.
You do.
I
You
do. I
do.
do.
So you got the smash on
I
this one.
believe in the U.
You
Just
believe in Uyagalele.
yes.
I think I'll take a pass on this one.
I'm gonna smash. I think they're going to play for a conference championship.
Wait, but how much did they win? 10, 11,
I think
or
they're gonna win
9?
10.
Okay. Because I think they're going to win 8 or 9. That's why I go pass. But okay. Okay.
I think it's gonna be really tight there at the top in
Yeah,
the
I
Pac-12.
agree.
I
Yeah,
I don't see an undefeated team in the Pac-12 at the end of the season.
agree. Agree.
And I would not be surprised if there was at least one 2-loss team in the Pac-12 championship. So 1 or 2.
No, I agree. I think we talked about it.
Yeah.
They're going to cannibalize each other. Like Oregon State, like we just talked about, USC, UCLA, maybe Utah, like those 4 or 5 teams, maybe Washington, 5, 6 teams are going
Yep.
to beat each other and everybody's going to end up with like 1 or 2 losses. I just think Oregon State's a step lower. I don't believe in DJU. I just got to say it. I thought I did 3 years ago. Not anymore.
Okay. So I'm smashed. You passed.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Tennessee, 9 wins.
Shit, what I have him? I think I have him 9.
I passed.
I have him at 9. Is it 9 exactly?
I picked 8-4 for Tennessee.
I have him 9-3. Is it 9 or 9.5? It's
9
9.
exactly.
Well, then I'm tying on this one. I'm dry humping this one, I guess.
You're dry humping the line. Yeah. No, I passed. I as much hype as Joe Milton has gotten.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Hypel. Damn it.
Oh, and Heupel.
Missed opportunity. The hype of hype.
The hype of Heupel. No, I think the hype of Heupel is a little bit too high, and I also don't necessarily believe in Joe Milton. I've heard a ton about how strong his arm is.
Same.
I don't really give a shit
Same.
at the end of the day. So,
Same.
I think there's a lot more that goes into being a good quarterback than just being able to throw it out of the stadium. So,
Same.
that's where I stand. I'm passing.
All right. Well, I have him 9-3, so I also don't smash, but I just
And a relevant next team, Kentucky at 7.
Oh, hard smash, bro.
Smash.
I got him
Smash.
10-2, bro.
I
I
had
got
them
him beating Tennessee.
I went into a fever dream and came out the other side with Kentucky at 11-1, and I don't know how.
Ooh. I thought you were gonna say 9-3, which is still a smash. No, I think 7
I had
is.
them 11-1, and I need to go back and recheck. I don't know what happened.
I have him 10-2, but I think 9-3 could still work. But 10-2, 9-3 is still 2-3 games over. Like, who's making up this 7?
I'm
Devin Leary from
shit
NC State is one of the most experienced quarterbacks in the nation, coming back to a good team with Mark Stoops, and they just got their coordinator, Liam Cohen or something like that had left for a year, came back, and that's why Will Levis wasn't as good last year. I don't see how they don't win at least 8 or 9 games. That's an easy one. If for the listeners, If you could actually put money on the over
Yeah,
on that
if you're
one.
gonna put money, this would be the line.
That would
I
be the
might
one.
actually go put money on it.
That might be the one. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I do, this is the one.
Yep.
All right. Next one is Eric Gilbert's first team,
Oh my god.
LSU at 9.5.
See, I think we disagree on this one. I got it over. I think they went 10, maybe 11. It'll come down to the Florida State game for me. That's this week, probably the best game. But worst case, they lose it. They're still 10-2, so I got to smash.
I am going to pass, but it's going to be 9 wins.
Oh, I thought you were lower on them. Okay,
No,
okay.
I think it's going to be about 9 wins. Yeah.
Mhm.
I have them losing to Florida State. I have them losing to the Aggies, and I have them losing to Alabama. And it could be a little bit lower too, right? So I think it's at 8 or 9.
Okay.
I just don't believe in LSU. I
Oh, I'd
suppose
agree.
I took what I saw in LSU's last game of the season last year, and what I saw was I think that is a better representation of what the LSU team is than
Who'd they
what.
play in the bowl game?
Huh?
Who'd they play in the bowl
Okay,
game?
the last game of the regular season.
They played an SEC championship game.
Last game of the yeah, and they got
No, no, now
their
you're
cheeks
like
clapped.
2, 3 games before the last
Yeah.
game. Okay.
Well, I said the last game of the regular season. All right.
Okay,
All right.
okay, okay. All right.
All right. Colorado at 3.5.
So this is just because of Prime. The only reason they're on this list, Coach Prime, 3.5. The last year they only did one. They have 53 transfers coming in. They have 85 new players. I think there's only 85 players on that you can fucking have on a team. So essentially everybody's a new player. We looked at their schedule. It's not easy. I think he squeaks out 4. I'll go smash.
It's very close. I think that is a very appropriate line. Admittedly, like you said, the only reason why this is on this list is because it's just the hot topic team. I think that line is perfectly placed at 3.5. I'm going to do a pass just because, but that's 3 times as many wins.
That is 3 times wins. Yeah,
Three
yeah,
times as many wins. So that, I mean, that's
yeah.
an remarkable
Yeah,
improvement.
nobody's expecting them to go 10-2, right? And that's not, but if they could get 3 or 4, it'd be great. Yeah.
And then next is Eric Gilbert's current team.
Oh my God, he doesn't have a team anymore. Jesus, quit doing this bullshit.
His current team
Is he gonna play in Nebraska
Is the Lincoln Penitentiary System.
Penitentiary? Yeah, I was gonna say he's in Nebraska. Is he gonna play? Probably not.
Not now.
What's it? 6.5.
6.5.
I haven't checked their schedule. I gotta check this. Fuck.
I'm passing.
Have you checked the schedule, or are you just doing that because you're doing
I
it?
have checked the schedule.
Okay,
But
Minnesota.
let's go through it if you
Minnesota. Win or loss?
want. L.
Loss. Okay. Colorado.
Win.
Win. Northern Illinois. Win. LA Tech. Win. Michigan. Loss. Illinois.
Win.
4. No, Northwestern.
Win.
Purdue.
Loss.
I'll take a loss there. Michigan State.
Loss.
Maryland.
Loss.
Ooh, I'm gonna switch Maryland and Purdue. I'm gonna say Purdue wins and Maryland lose, but that's why I'm at 6. Wisconsin.
Loss.
Iowa.
Loss.
Oh, okay. I got him at 6. What do you have? 4, 5?
I counted 4, but I think they're somewhere in that 5 range.
All right, I'll take
5 or
passing.
6, right? So
I
I'm
only
still
got
passing. Still
yeah.
passing.
I just got up to 6, so I'll take the passing. All right.
Yeah. Oklahoma 9.5.
Okay, this is the other easy one. Take the under on this. I don't believe in this team at all. I don't believe in
Skeletor.
Brent Venables, bitch ass. I don't believe in Gabriel Dillon or whoever. General Booty. His name's actually General Booty. Quarterback there. I don't get where they get 9.5. I get the pedigree. They're ranked. I don't know why they're ranked. I don't see this. I don't see them winning more than 6 or 7. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I think they lose probably to Texas. They lose probably to Texas Tech, probably to TCU, maybe Oklahoma State, Baylor. I don't know how they got to 9.
I don't think Brett Venables realized that there was a backside of the quarterback. He's only ever realized, like, it's only ever been defense. I don't think he's Like I
Yeah,
think
he
he's so
doesn't know
inept
offense.
offensively. Let's run through theirs just real
Okay,
quick.
run through it. All right,
Arkansas State
that's a win.
loss.
That's a
Oh
that's a
shit.
win. That's a win. That's one.
SMU.
Ooh, ooh, that might be a loss.
I
That
think
might
that's
be a
sneaky.
loss.
It is in Norman.
I'll take the win, but I think that might be a loss.
Tulsa.
That's a win.
Cincinnati. They're bad too.
They're bad too. I would say they lose there, but
Iowa State. I think it's a loss.
I think they lose Iowa State.
Texas.
They lose.
They're going to lose big. UCF.
Lose.
I think they lose. Oklahoma or Kansas.
Lose.
I'll give them one win
Over Kansas?
between Iowa State, UCF, and Kansas. I'm just giving them
Okay,
like
but of
one
the
win.
three, I would give that one to Iowa State. Kansas brings back the most returning players. They have like 85% of the team back.
Okay, they're still trash. Anyway,
No.
Oklahoma
They were
State.
like lost.
Yeah. West
Even though we
Virginia.
don't know what they're doing.
West Virginia. It's a win.
Sure, we'll take a win.
BYU.
Loss.
TCU.
Loss. Okay, one of those two, TCU or BYU, they'll win. What are they at, 6?
I'm sitting at 6 or 7.
Yeah,
7 being a more likely.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
a
see
long
them.
way from 9.5.
I don't see them beating Texas, Kansas, UCF, BYU, or TCU, Iowa State, or Oklahoma State. That's 5 right there. Like that. SMU. They might be 1-1. Like they might lose the SMU game too.
Hell
Where
yeah.
is that? Is that in Oklahoma? It is in Norman. Okay.
It is.
Thank God.
I did say that. All right. Iowa.
What's it at? Shit, hold up.
8.5. I am smashing the over on that one.
I haven't looked at the schedule, but I think that's an over.
They just have a relatively weak schedule. Do you want to run through Iowa?
No, I know they're on the wrong side with the other side is the Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State side, which is the harder side. So I know they have the easier side. So no.
They avoid Ohio State and Michigan. Yeah. The hardest team that they're going to play is Penn State.
No, they avoid Michigan State. No, they play Penn State. Okay. Do they play Michigan State?
They play Penn State. No. Yes, they play Michigan State.
Okay.
Their most difficult games are Penn State, Wisconsin. And then everything else is Utah State, Western Michigan, Iowa State, Northwestern, Minnesota, Rutgers, Illinois, Nebraska. I mean, there's no way that they don't win 9 games or more.
9. Yeah, 9 is what I got. Yeah. Okay.
Like that's borderline impossible. Yeah, I think the Iowa over is another one that,
I wouldn't.
If you're really going to put money, that might be the next best one.
Okay, after the first two. The first two are like another level to me, and that one's like the next level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Notre Dame, 8.5.
I will take the over. Like I said, I'm a little bit high on them after week 1, which I know it's just one data point, getting ahead of myself, but I think a little bit high. Problem is, like you said, they play Ohio State, USC, and Clemson, but I think they upset at least one of those teams, get to about 9 or 10.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go under, only because I think they have 3 losses on their schedule essentially, and then it's whether or not they kind of drop one more. To get them down to 8.
Yeah. So I think they wouldn't beat one of those teams.
I think 8.5 is very well placed.
Yeah, it makes sense.
FSU at 9.5.
Over, smash. I think they get 11, 10, 11.
I think they are looking at about 10, so I'm going to smash.
Okay.
And then Washington at 9. I'm going to dry hump that line.
I am right at 9, and I can't decide if I want to take a side. I will take the smash. Fuck it. I'll say over.
Hey, there you go.
In the words of Blue Corsa, fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it.
Well, that has been
Smash or pass.
Next, we're going to jump Heisman picks and our dark horses.
Let's go.
Our dark horse for Heisman.
Horse.
All right. So let's both, I'm going to count down from 3 and just say the number 1 person on your list, and then we'll go from there. 3, 2, 1, Caleb Williams. Okay. So then after that.
Okay. Then there's a gap.
So who do you got in terms of Heisman picks? Because right now, I mean, Caleb Williams is just a known. right?
Yeah. But so I was talking about that. I think before this one in our pre meeting, right? Um, can I take the
Our
field?
pre-meeting is where he and I both pre.
Yeah, yeah. We get teased on what was the line? Fuck, I forgot what the line was. Oh, the A&M 8.5 line. We get teased too hard on that shit and got the pre. Um, can I take the field? Is that not allowed? Like, do I have to be like this player, or can I just be anybody but Caleb Williams? And the reason I say that is because it's only happened once, Archie
Yep.
Griffin in like the 60s or 70s, right? And it happens too regularly to be honest, too regularly that a sophomore wins it. And then they're like, okay, he's the best player. He's obviously going to win it again. Happened with Johnny, happened with Tebow, happened with Lamar Jackson, happened with obviously Caleb now, happened with Bryce Young. Like, there's too many times where it's like almost too easy to be like, oh, yeah, he's going to win it again because he's the best player. I do really like Caleb Williams. Like, I'm not knocking him down. I think he's stay with me. Everybody says it, but stay with me. Of Mahomes 2.0, which is I know. But I'm not Nick Wright over here. If you've seen the Nick Wright bullshit, look up Nick Wright. He thinks Nick Wright. Don't listen to Nick Wright. Just don't. But he said right now Caleb Williams is one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the world. So he had 32 quarterbacks in the NFL, and he was like, I'm gonna make a tier list, and he put him right up there with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson as a junior in college. Yeah, don't listen to Nick Wright. I'm not like that high on Caleb Williams, but I think it's very good. But it's just too easy to be like Caleb Williams, easy money, and then he loses, right? Because it happens over and over and over again. So can I take the field, or is that not allowed? What's the rules here, Eric?
I mean, we're not taking Fields or not, but yes, if you want to take the field, I would agree. I would also take the field. I it's to expand on what
Because
you said.
my thing is like there's a gap for like who would be your second. We don't believe in Jaden Williams, but he's the second in betting odds right now, which is trash. I don't believe in him for a second to be the Heisman.
We do
So,
not believe in him.
like,
We
who's the
are
next?
we
We're
are
against it. Like, I'll be honest on that one.
we are
I'm
on the
against
board of
it.
directors of Jalen Haters.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's good.
I
I
don't either.
am so opposed for him, but he's like the next guy. So then it's like, who you got next? Like, you got to start looking farther down. So I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I think the returning Heisman thing is always that
First,
you're graded against your
previous
expectations
self.
at the beginning of the season. So Caleb Williams' expectations are super high. So he really can't surpass expectations, which means that people will be like, you know,
Yeah, fair.
there's a lot of other people who are unknowns who will be more exciting because they were unknown. Um, and that's what we're about to get into. So, um,
Do we have
I,
to be a second pick now or not? Not a dark horse, like an actual pick.
I think, yeah, I'm gonna go with the second pick, not a dark horse.
All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna say Drake May.
Oh, damn it! I wasn't gonna say Drake May, but okay, I'll let you go. Why Drake May?
Um, I think most of the teams he's going to be facing in on his schedule is going to be favorable in terms of at least putting up numbers.
Mm-hmm.
He did it last year. He's now in year 2. And so, I sort of believe in them. I don't think their defense is going to be all that great. So I think there's going to be a lot of high scoring, which is going to lead him to have a lot of stats. And stats are part of what
Yep.
people look at.
Yep.
So I'm going to say Drake May. Obviously, he was extremely talented, is extremely talented, and did
Oh
really
yeah.
well last year. So
Yes.
if you can kind of project onto this year, that would be maybe another good bet. Drake
Okay.
May, UNC.
I'll make a pick because you're making me make a pick, and I can't take the field. My pick will be. Don't want to do it. I don't know if I want to do it.
You're going to say
No,
Quinn Ewers.
No, I'm not gonna say Quinn Ewers.
Damn.
Don't want to say this. I
You
wasn't
do want
gonna
to
say
say
Quinn.
it.
No,
Just
I
say it.
don't. I just want to
Just
say
say
the
it,
field. Just give me the
bitch.
field.
Say it, bitch.
Give me the field.
Say it, bitch.
All right, fine. I'll say it. But this is a caveat because, and I'll explain. Marvin Harrison Jr. I'll take Marvin
Hey,
Harrison Jr. And the problem with it is everybody's like, well, if he's doing well, the quarterback's doing well. Agreed. They just announced Ryan Day that Kyle McCord will be the starting quarterback. Did you know though? This is out of like bullshit that I just know for some reason. Kyle McCord was Marvin Harrison Jr.'s quarterback in high school. Do you know that?
There you go.
There you go. So the whole combination, like they don't know each other. They obviously do because they play together at least 2-3 years, probably more in high school. They both went to Ohio State. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr. played way earlier than Kyle McCord because CJ Stroud was there. Kyle McCord couldn't play, but there he was his high school quarterback. So I think it'll be easier to have that connection. The problem is the quarterback award, and obviously if Marvin Harrison Jr. has 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns, 15 touchdowns, that means those are also all Kyle McCord stats. So it's the only problem with it, but that's why I'll take Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, I would say the only issue there is that there are some other extremely talented receivers on that roster, possibly even the number two receiver in the country, and Buke or whatever his name is.
And Buka.
And so that could be a problem, right? So if you're going to win it as a receiver, you've really got to be the only guy.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Devontae Smith.
Yeah, exactly. That would be the person. Yeah, he's who I would use as an example for what I just said. Yes, yes, because Jalen Waddle got injured, and so
Yeah,
it
but
was just Devonta Smith
do
for
you
most
want
of
to
the
go
season.
back into what the Heisman um standings were at the end of the year?
No,
Okay, because third was Mac Jones and fifth was Najee Harris. Three players on the Alabama team, on the Alabama offense, were top
correct.
five in the Heisman voting, which is absurd, just in its own right. But that means like you can win it with other players being stacked. It was COVID year, so I'll give you that. It was COVID year.
Fair enough. So I
But
say
yeah.
next, people can go out and look at the betting odds for the Heisman and see some of the top contenders, right? A bunch of quarterbacks, a couple of the guys we've already named. Who is your dark horse?
Do you want me to go first? Mine's kind of spicy. Mine is pretty spicy. I don't know how spicy yours is. Mine's pretty spicy. Um, it would have to, and I'm prefacing this, would have to matter because of the way he plays, what he is, not because of wins, but because of the wow factor of what he's doing. So I got Travis Hunter, cornerback slash receiver from Colorado. He was the number one player in the nation 2 years ago, committed to Jackson State with Coach Prime, and then obviously transferred to Colorado. And they're saying, I don't know if it'll happen, they're saying he's going to play both ways. I don't remember the last actual player to play both ways. Just preface that. So if he does, if he's, they say he's better as a corner. So if he's, you know, an island, right? If it's Hunter Island or whatever, stacked, I mean, whatever. And he also catches a lot on the other side of it, get some touchdowns and all that. Just that type, even though, like we said, they're only going to win 3-4 games, maybe. Obviously, they're not going to win a lot of games and get into the playoffs, which does go into the count of Heisman, which shouldn't be that way because it's an individual award, but they do it that way. But just that wow factor, if he is what he's supposed to be, which is the number one player in the nation 2 years ago, and he can play us both ways as good as they think he can, I think that wow factor. It is a very, very dark horse, just a preface.
Okay, so my dark horse is going to be the one and only Brock Bowers.
Ooh, not a bad pick.
Tight end, Georgia. It is not a bad pick. He's only a dark horse because he is not listed very highly on the odds to win the Heisman.
He's not a quarterback, so yeah.
He is not a quarterback. I do think that he will be one of the most valuable pass catchers in the country, if not the most valuable. I think he has been the last couple of years. So I expect big things, especially from a new quarterback. I also expect the receivers to be a little bit down this year for Georgia. They do not have a Pickens anymore.
Nope.
So they're going to rely even more. They also don't have a Darnell Washington. They're going to rely even more on Brock Bowers. They've got the lad McKinstry, but I'm still throwing it to Brock Bowers any chance I can get. So he's going to be my dark horse. In my he's my 1A, my 1B for dark horse, and this is a little bit less of a dark horse, is Blake Corum, running back, Michigan. One of the struggles there is that he is going to be splitting some time at running back.
That's
And
the only thing.
yeah, but he is, like I
Is
said,
that a
he's
dark
less of
horse?
a dark horse.
Is that a dark horse?
He's less of a dark horse.
And
Plus
maybe
4,000 odds.
is his quarterback higher than him or not? Because I know,
He is.
okay, the Georgia quarterback is higher than Brock Bowers. I know that for a fact.
Yes, he is.
Okay,
Carson Beck is at plus 1,800, and JJ McCarthy is at plus 1,600.
Okay, so they're both higher than the Corum and Bowers. Okay.
Correct. Yep.
Oh, is Shadur Sanders?
And Kyle McCord is also tied with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Ah, damn it. Of course they are.
Plus 2,500.
Of course
So
they are.
Blake Corum is actually more of a dark horse than Marv.
Fair enough.
And that concludes.
Well, no, Marv wasn't my dark.
Oh, who's your dark? Oh, yeah.
My dark is a very dark.
That is a dark.
Travis Hunter. Like, I don't think he's on the list to point. Marvin was just my number 2 if it's not Caleb.
Has anyone ever won the Heisman with a losing record?
I don't know. I can look it up.
There you go. Stats and info.
I thought you were gonna say like playing both ways. Like he projected to be.
While you look that up, I'm going to introduce our next segment.
Okay.
So for this next segment, we're going to be looking at and sort of giving our opinion as to who the most important or most pivotal teams are this season. So kind of what we're looking at is which teams kind of have a big disparity between how the top, right, their ceiling or their floor this season.
Okay.
Right. And based on that, how much they could change the face of the season. Right. So which team could be the most impactful, most important? Right.
Yep.
So do you want me to go first? Do you want to take the first stab?
This just in, there was a player.
Oh,
I think there was only one player to have won the Heisman playing for a team with a losing record. Paul Hornung, who played halfback and kicker in 56. Good. And the worst part about this is when I looked it up, it said no Heisman winner has played for a team with 4 or more losses since 69. Great. So there goes my my dark horse pick, at least. Yeah, he's going to lose more than 4 games. So if that's never happened, there goes that. But just FYI.
That is a very dark horse. You are correct.
Very, 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 very. Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he makes them win 8. I don't think they will, but maybe, you know.
Maybe. All right. So most important, most pivotal team. Who you got?
You go first.
Fine. I've got LSU as my most important or pivotal team. I think people are talking LSU could be anywhere from at a very, very optimistic 12-0. I think that's very high. But there's definitely a possibility, at least in some people's minds, of a conference championship. And others, and when I say others, I mean my own, looking more like an 8-4, right? So I think they have a big gap between sort of their ceiling and their floor.
You think their floor is 8-4 though? Just a question, or is it low, like 7-5? Is it lower?
I think it could be. It could be lower. Yeah.
Oof.
So
Oof.
and the reason behind this, right, is and this is also getting into sort of what I think of LSU as a team, right? So I project them to be a lot worse than most people predict them to be, right? So like I said, a lot of people are predicting them, right? We said 9.5 is their over under, right? I pass on that 9.5, right? A lot of people are kind of taking that over, looking at a conference championship. What I see is a team that is not particularly dynamic, right? I don't see a ton at wide receiver. Um, Jalen Daniels
Okay.
does not scare me in the slightest. I do not think he's great. And I think the LSU defense has a very good player in Kendrick Perkins on as a linebacker, but
Kendrick Perkins, Harold Perkins.
Harold Perkins, yes,
Kendrick
Kendrick
Perkins
Perkins.
hasn't played in the NBA in like 10 years. Harold
This
Perkins.
is true. I I knew a girl in high school who was literally obsessed with Kendrick Perkins. Like she had a
Why?
Kendrick Perkins tattoo.
Why? He wasn't even that good.
I have no idea. He's not attractive either.
No, also not that.
He is ugly as all hell. Anyway, don't know why. She had a Kendrick
The
Perkins tattoo.
fuck?
It's
The
nutty.
fuck?
Absolutely crazy. Anyway,
She's
and
a Celtics fan? Is that
this
like
was
the
high
only
school.
thing?
No. No. No, she was a Kendrick Perkins fan.
That's
Look,
stupid.
man,
The fuck is wrong with you?
don't ask me to explain it. Harold Perkins, yes. Harold Perkins. The problem is their their secondary is non-existent. They had to portal guys in to try to supplement what was a dismal secondary,
Yep.
and they've already lost a couple.
Yep.
Um, so I just think they're going to get run through.
Okay.
Any team that has a competent quarterback is going to be able to pick them apart.
Okay.
And so there's a good number of teams out there. I think teams like Ole Miss, with Lane Kiffin, who's going to definitely go out of his way to try to pick apart your weaknesses. I think Texas A&M with great receivers and a good quarterback is going to beat LSU. And I think Alabama is going to be able to out talent LSU. So I mean, I just don't see it. The biggest thing for me is that LSU plays FSU
Yep.
early in the season.
Wait, who's their cross division? Do you remember?
LSU's cross divisional.
Is it Florida?
Yes.
Oh damn. At least I get the win there. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Damn it.
um,
Damn it.
so
FSU.
I a lot of people I think predicting LSU to beat FSU, but the way I look at it is if LSU is really that kind of like 11-1 type team, right? And they beat FSU, that's probably that loss is to FSU is probably going to knock out FSU from a playoff contention. And that very well likely could take the ACC completely out of playoff contention. Yes, Berto, you hear your hands up.
I don't know if you want me to wait till the end or go right now.
Go for it.
Okay. I have a hot take that I know the best. They always talk about this week one, great games. You know, they're probably the best. The Utah, Florida's back in the day, FSU, Alabama, games like that. Oregon, Ohio State, now LSU, FSU. I don't. I know it'll be a great game. I hope it is because we're back to college football. I love it. I want great games. I don't think this game matters in the grand scheme of things.
Wow.
In the slightest. It is not a conference game. And if you look back on years back, Oregon beat Ohio State 2 years ago, whatever it was, right? They immediately dropped down, still ran the table and made the playoffs, right? 2 years before that, or a couple years before that, the Florida State Alabama game was a big deal. But I don't think it really matters because it's not a conference game. So if you lose, right, and to your point, let's say Florida State beats LSU, and LSU still goes 11-1, and Florida State goes 10-2. You would have lost to a 10-2 potentially number 2 team in the ACC. It would have been at the beginning of the season. We know we talk about that games matter later in the season than early in the season. So I'm not saying don't watch it. I'm gonna fucking watch it. It's the best game this weekend. I'm hyped for it. I think it's gonna be a great game. I think it's almost a coin flip. But to that last point, I almost think it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. And I only say that because also we're going to 4-team playoff, or we are at 4-team playoff. You're going to go to 12. When it was only 2, it wouldn't matter because if you lose one, you're pretty much out. Now you can lose one, especially at a conference. Run your conference, win your division, win the conference, and still be fine. So, sorry to cut you off. That's my only point there.
Yeah, and I get that. I'm just saying I think if LSU beats FSU, right? I I think FSU and Clemson are going to be very close,
I agree.
right? And there's no divisions,
No, there aren't.
so it's likely that in most scenarios that they are going to be 1-2,
Yep.
and they're going to play
Again.
again in the conference championship game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do not think it's crazy that they split those games,
I agree.
right?
I agree.
And
But
so
who wins the last one?
and that's important. But what I'm looking at is if FSU has an extra loss because of LSU, that could hurt, or that could basically kick them out of the playoff. And it could also cause
Okay.
more ripple effects across the ACC and their chance to get in. If LSU is really good, so this is the converse,
Flip
right?
side. The flip
If
side. Yep.
LSU is really good, we're looking at, okay, well, could you believe that LSU beats Bama and Georgia and makes it in the playoff, right? So this is kind of like the two wild sides, right?
Maybe.
We're looking, and in this situation, LSU's number one team in the country at
Correct.
this point, right? Georgia is
Naturally.
going to likely win the SEC East,
Yep.
and so we'll have two SEC teams in,
Correct.
and it's likely that in this scenario they'd probably rematch in the national championship.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Correct.
So I just think they're a very pivotal team. I think the former,
Yeah.
that they are going to lose to Florida State, and I do not think they're going to play in a conference championship game, is my prediction. But if they are really good, like people think, then they could really make some big waves in the
Waves.
SEC
Yeah.
and the ACC. All right, who do you got?
All right. So I took this in a similar take, but a little bit different. I don't think that's a bad pick. I wholeheartedly agree with you. Other than that point with that game being, I don't think is as important. But everything else you said, to your point, it could affect the ACC and everything. Um, I said, oh shit, which side is it on? That team right there with the long court, Texas. Like I can't figure out how to point this thing. Texas, right? Yeah, yeah. You flip. It's flipped. Texas, because I think almost to your point, their ceiling is probably 12-0, but maybe 11 if you count the Alabama game, but 11 or 12. But I think their floor is 7-5. And this is just maybe an easy take, maybe a hot take, whatever. It's because they always have great talented teams. They're projected to be a top 5 talent team in the nation, right? Other than behind like Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, whatever, LSU maybe. Um, and so they have that. They have experience now with Quinn Ewers, Xavier Worthy. I know they lost Bijan, but they can probably get another running back. But like they got experience there. Their defense is pretty good also, coming back with a lot of experienced guys. That one guy on linebacker, guys, freshman, is apparently pretty good. We won't talk about that. But and the schedule kind of sets up, I think, pretty well. Oklahoma's down. TCU had a great season, but they lost everybody, so they're a little bit down. Tech might be all right. Baylor's kind of down. Oklahoma State's figuring out what they're doing. They might be down. So it might be easy for them to rack off 10 or so wins or 11 wins. And then, even if they lose to Bama in Tuscaloosa, if they made it a little bit competitive, could, you know, still get in. But the problem with that, as we always say, is the past 8 or 10 years, they're always projected to be really good because they always have the best talent, quote unquote talent. It never projects. So I could also see them flop and lose to Tech and TCU and Oklahoma State and maybe not Oklahoma, but some of these teams and Bama, and then go down to 7-5. The problem is, and the reason I put them as pivotal and important is if they're there, sitting at 11-1, 10-2, they go to the conference championship game and win, and their losses against Bama, and maybe Bama's sitting 11-1 or so. Maybe they didn't win the SEC or something. You have essentially the two biggest brands in the sport at almost the same record. Obviously, we talk about head to heads and the whole body of work, and I know we talk these nonsense words. Would you edge them out, or would you go with the Alabama team that potentially beat them? Or what if they were to beat Alabama and they lose a game to like Tech or something, and then the measuring stick is maybe they did beat Bama? So I think if they're right there close enough, the hype train more than just their actual belief in this team would get them right there to, I think, push to be that 4 team or that 5 team and get the benefit of the doubt. But at the same time, like I said, we have to see it. It's been 8 or 10 seasons since they've been even relevant. So they could easily flop to 75. So that's why I got them. If they could beat Bama, which is a pivotal game too, and make a splash and keep it going, they're going to be up there even if they lose a game or so afterwards, just because of the brand factor in that game over Bama. So that's where I had Texas on it. A little bit different than yours, but similar, I think.
Yeah, I think it's very similar. I think, like I said, the whole thing is a team that, depending on how good they are, can make waves sort of across
Yep.
college football.
Yep.
And I think, and specifically, both of us picked teams that have an important out of conference
Yes,
game,
we did do that.
right?
Yes.
And that's sort of the idea there. So where do you think then that Texas sits on that spectrum? Like if you had to pick,
Their win total, or
yeah,
what do you mean?
are you looking at 11-1?
I think, hot take, they will beat Bama in Tuscaloosa. They will drop a game just somewhere. I don't know where. It's just prone to happen. Um, and I guess we can get to that later with the Alabama pick, but I think it's just Sark, early in the season. Bama might be going back to a running game, which is harder to do and all that. You got to rely on the defense, which defense has to, like we said earlier, step it up and actually figure it out rather than the offense can sometimes have a script if you follow me, or they kind of already have plays ready. So if they, come out there, get a touchdown or two, or up 10, 17 nothing, 14 nothing, it'll be hard for Alabama to be like, oh, now we got to throw it to make up. So I could see them winning that, but I think they will lose a game. If they lose two, it makes it interesting because then you have that win over Bama, but you have two probably not that great losses. But I think they're right there at 10-2, 11-1, probably, with a win over Bama, but a loss somewhere else.
Yeah. I'm starting to,
I don't want that. Like, that's not what I
yeah,
want to happen. But I think if we just look at the data we have so far, which, like we said, we don't have data. They're going to play Rice this weekend. We'll see what happens. Maybe they don't show as well, and then I change my opinion. But going off, we know off the offense, it looks like they're going to win 10, maybe 11 games. So
yeah. I mean, it's hard because I'm sitting here thinking about, Alabama is, and I'm just trying to think Alabama, Texas, right? So we really need to talk about this next week, but
yes, yes,
um, we don't know much about this either, or we don't know much about Alabama, and which sounds weird. Normally, in the last few years, they've been a pretty transparent team,
mm-hmm.
and we pretty much knew what we were going to get. This year, you know, it's still very interesting. We still aren't really sure that wide receiver group. We're not really sure about. We don't, we don't have that big name at running back. We don't have those big names necessarily at wide receiver. We don't really have a big name at QB right now.
They
Right.
might
So,
walk out two quarterbacks. I mean, somebody might start and then they switch out.
and
They don't
yeah,
really know.
and they might. It's hard to say. That defense is always stacked,
Yeah, it's going to be good.
but we'll see, right? Right now, I have more kind of faith in the Texas offense than I do. Um, they are the position group that I think is the most understood across all four of the different position
Correct.
groups between
Correct.
the teams. So we will see. But I'm leaning away. I don't like leaning right now, so we're going to stop this conversation
Okay.
before.
All right.
Yes. So let's see. You want to go into how do they know?
Sure, we can do
One of
how
our
do they know?
most popular segments.
Yes, yes. How do they know? This is
How
more on
do
Eric.
they know?
I tried to put them in about 5 games in order of they're going to happen. So the Thursday games first, and the Saturday games Sunday, and I think there's even a Monday game. So good for us. Football for 6 days, whatever, 5 days,
Heck yeah.
5 days. And this is also our picks. So this is going to be our picks. Um, you'll make the guess on the line. Is it +2 each way or +3 each way? I don't remember.
Huh?
For the line you pick. Off the line you pick, how close do you have to be?
+2.
+2 either
Plus or
way?
minus 2.
Okay. Was it
Yeah.
2 either way or
I
3 either
think
way?
we did 2.
Okay. Want to keep it that way?
3 is probably, let's say a field goal. Field goal makes more sense.
Either way?
Yeah, field goal.
Okay. So if you say like -7, you can go up to -10 and -4.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, and then we'll make the picks from that also. Yours is
Yep.
going to go off of what you picked there, and I'll just go off the line. So the first one, on Thursday, a day from now, we're less than 24 hours now. Florida at Utah, number 14 Utah. I don't know if you want to get into it more. There is some info in there that might change your thinking.
Go for it.
Cam Rising, coming back from a torn ACL in the Rose Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
is questionable.
Yep.
Highly doubtful is what they say. Nobody said he's out, but it seems like he's out. I'll just leave it at that. I mean, Florida's also bringing in I guess I won't leave it as that, but Florida's also bringing in a transfer quarterback, Graham Mertz, out of Wisconsin. So what's the line? What you got?
I'm giving the line 6.5 to Utah. And I think that line would be much bigger with Cam Rising starting. 6.5.
Damn. Damn, you made the right choice because minus 4.5 Utah. I think you had it at 9.5 a second ago, and you
I
would have
did.
been
I had it nine and
right
a
out
half,
of it.
and then you updated me on the injury report because
Injury
I knew
report.
that was a possibility. I wasn't sure exactly what it would do, but yes, if he's kind of confirmed to not play, then I'm going to drop it down.
I don't think it's officially confirmed, but it's
But for the sake of what we're doing,
trending that way. So
it counts.
Utah 4.5.
Okay, so where are you betting on that line?
Florida. I'm smashing Florida on that one.
How much?
Oh, money wise, fuck.
Yeah, you got to put some money on it.
We got 1,000 on it, right?
We do.
$200. Are you writing this down? Or am I writing this?
So you got 200 on Florida.
Yes. And so you got Utah.
I'm gonna put my money on Utah, and I'm gonna put. I'll start with $200 as well.
All right, let's say make it easy. All right. You got money on Utah. I got money on Florida. I think the Cam Rising thing is going to be the deciding factor. That's why I'm going Florida. Graham Mertz is also very experienced, even though he didn't do that well at Wisconsin, but very experienced. So that's where I'm going there.
Yep.
All right. The second one on Saturday, the fighting Deion Sanders, Colorado at number 17 TCU. I don't really have a injury update or anything like that, but
this is a shit show.
Yep.
This line, I'm not confident particularly in it at all. No idea what Colorado's going to look like.
Same.
TCU lost everything that made them good last year, from their offensive coordinator to their starting quarterback to their running backs to about everybody. So not really sure how to look at this one. I will say that it being the first game of the season for Colorado, I don't trust the cohesion of a bunch of transfers that don't know each other all that well. And so I am going a little bit bold here, and I had an 18.5 line to TCU.
Not bold enough. TCU minus 20.5. So you still hit on that one, but they got a 20.5, bro.
The first line I had was 21.5.
Yeah, there you go.
That was my first line, and then I moved it a little bit closer. I thought it was a little bit too much, but yeah, I was right in the middle there.
Yeah, I mean, you still hit on it. You're within the point, so yeah. It's just, I think it's to your point. It's a conglomerate of good players, not really a team right now. From what I look at it, I would take TCU minus 20.5. I think that Colorado loses by 30 or whatever.
Yep.
Taking the same. Okay.
I'm gonna take TCU, and I'll put.
Oh shit! Money wise.
Yeah, you got to put money on it.
I'll put $100. All
right.
Conservative. All right. You want to decide how much money?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 300.
Ooh, okay, ballsy. 21 is a lot, but okay.
Yeah, it is a lot. Yeah, but I just think Colorado, if this game were to take place in week 8 or 9 or something like that,
it'd be different.
I think it would be very different.
Very different. I agree.
So I think TCU is going to be about what they are beginning of the season as they are at the end of the season. I think Colorado will get better over the course of the season.
I agree.
So I think that line would shift down, and I'd be less confident in that.
Okay. Third game, it is college game day. Don't know why, but it is. USC East. So the Gamecocks of South Carolina at 21 UNC. I put at because they're in North Carolina, but they're at a neutral site. They're at Bank of America Stadium, wherever the Panthers play. So it's not technically on a college campus. So neutral, if that matters for you or not. But what do you got?
So I'm thinking. So I think this is going to be a high scoring affair. I'll say that.
Okay.
Um, I think that Drake May is sort of the X factor here. I think he's going to outplay his counterpart. But I
Spencer
also,
Rattler.
yes, Spencer Rattler. I do
Spencer.
believe though that the Shane Beamer hype from last season will have some effect on this
The
line.
line. Okay. Okay.
Um, I am giving a line that I think is a little bit too small, but I'm adjusting it for what I think people think of Shane Beamer and what USC might be. USC East.
So
4.5 to UNC.
UNC -2.5. There you go. 3 for 3.
Look at that. What a start. What a start.
What a start. What is going on here? How do you know? The
How do
fuck?
I know?
Um, yeah, UNC -2.5. I also agree. Drake May, I think, is gonna outplay USC East. I don't believe in Spencer Rattler as much. I will take UNC -2.5. So I think they win by more than a field goal.
How much?
I'll put $300.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be that close to the game. I don't really believe in Spencer Rattler for years now. I don't really believe in the Beamer bullshit,
Beamer
honestly.
ball.
Yeah.
I am gonna put 100 on that game.
All right.
I
On
mean,
UNC also?
yeah, on UNC.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a very boomer bust game.
Okay. That makes sense.
So I'm not gonna put a ton on it.
Okay. The fourth game on Sunday, it'll be played at 7 p.m. on what network is it? Oh shit. Forget what
ESPN
network.
8.
Yeah, the Ocho. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, sure.
Number 6 LSU, which we think is overrated at number 6, versus number 8 Florida State FSU, which we also think is overrated. Um, maybe a great game, maybe a very impactful game for the playoffs. Maybe not in my regard, but probably the best game of the weekend. I will tune in. I hope it's a great game. I hope it's a nail biter like last year. Don't know if you remember. LSU was down, came back, scored a touchdown with 0 seconds left, down 7, 0 seconds left, tied the game. Kicker just had to make the extra point, got it blocked, lost the game on a missed extra point with 0 seconds on the clock. Great game. Horrible for LSU, but anyways, um, it is neutral because it's in like, where is it? It's like the Duke Mayo's Classic or whatever.
It is.
But I don't know where that's at. But it's a neutral game, so I don't know if that matters for you.
So I um
Oh, this one's in the Bank of America again. Let's see, Charlotte.
yeah,
Go ahead.
so
Sorry.
I was gonna basically kind of allude to what you talked about last year. It was a 1 point game,
Mm-hmm.
right? 24 to 23.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a very similar outcome this time, but I think it's going the other way.
Oh, injury report. Mason Smith is out. Just FYI.
Well,
Not because of
it's not
injury.
an injury
Not because of
report.
injury, but just FYI, he is out.
Yes. I put 1.5 LSU as the line.
Shit. So I guess it could go the other way, 2.5, and you still make it. But it is LSU -2.5.
There we are. There we are.
There we go.
All right. Where are you on that line and how much?
I hate this line.
You hate this line.
Yes, because I don't want to say what I'm gonna say, but I'll say it because it's totally biased. I think LSU wins. It doesn't cover, which is absurd on a 2.5 line. Like it's absurd, but it's gonna end up being a 27-28 game, and you're not gonna win money, so you got to go the other way. But that's bullshit to be like, no, they're not gonna cover, but they're gonna win. I have LSU winning, but to your point, it's gonna be a 1 point game, some bullshit nonsense. So I guess off of that line, technically, I'm taking Florida State, but I still think LSU wins. So
Okay. How much
50
do you put on
bucks,
it?
$50 on that because it's fucking, it's literally a coin flip to me, dude. It's literally like,
I'm putting 100 on FSU.
okay,
So,
but you think also the score's gonna be like 1 point, so yeah.
I'm actually going to say FSU outright.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
outright, okay,
But I
okay.
think it'll be a similar sort of outcome to
Yeah,
last season.
yeah, I agree. It's like I think the LSU's gonna win, but 2.5 might be too much, which is absurd. So, anyways, All right, and then to cap off the weekend on a Monday night, Labor Day, everybody's off, or you should be. If you're not off, just take it off. Tell your boss you can't go in. Just take it off. It's the first week of college football. Just take off that Monday. Clemson, number 9, Clemson at Duke, fighting Will Shipley's, fighting Kate Klubnik's, fighting Dabo Sweeney's, fighting Garrett Riley's. What do you have on this line?
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
four
so
for
I think
four. You're batting 100, so hopefully you don't fuck this up.
yeah, I don't care about this
Batting a
game
thousand.
at
Yeah.
this point. I'm doing pretty well. Um, I'm looking at it as I just don't have a ton of faith in Duke this season. Um, they've had, I think what I'll say is I think they will have had a lot better seasons than this current one that they're about to embark on. But I think that number 9 is a bit inflated for Clemson. I do not think that they're the number 9 team in the country. I think they're going to have a relatively inexperienced quarterback starting in a first game of the season. Their wide receiver group is a problem, which is not going to help their quarterback at all. I'm not as big on Will Shipley as many people are.
Okay.
So all
Okay.
that being
Okay.
said, I'm going
Okay.
14 and a half
Okay.
Clemson.
You don't believe in Duke?
No,
You believe in their head coach?
nope. Mike Elko.
Mike Elko? Clemson minus 13, a 5 for 5. I don't know what just happened here. How do you know? What the hell kind of
I'm just
nonsense
getting better at this, I think.
is this bullshit? Clemson minus 13. I agree. I think Mike Elko is very good as a coach. I think he will do well this season. He's just not in that realm with FSU and Clemson right now. He's a tier or two lower. I do believe in Will Shipley. I also do believe in Garrett Riley. I think he's going to do great there as offensive coordinator. He's done it for the past 2-3 years at SMU and at TCU, and I think if he does well there again, he will be a head coach the year after that somewhere semi decent.
Yep.
And I do believe in Kate Klubnik. I think Kate Klubnik is also, it's not a dark horse because he's a starting quarterback for a big name brand, but kind of in the dark horse Heisman candidate, and I think it's well deserved. I think he'll do pretty well. I will take Clemson minus 13 and whatever else I have. I think it's like $200 or something.
$350.
What? I gotta redo this math then.
Uh,
I thought I had 250. Where did I mess up? I thought
you
I had
did
250.
200 for Florida,
Yep.
100 for TCU,
Yep.
300 for UNC,
Yep.
50 for
Oh,
FSU.
the 50 got me.
Yeah,
Can I change
that's
that to like 100? No, change it. Yeah, change that one to 100.
100 for you.
And
Okay.
then it's 300 now for Clemson.
It's 300 for Clemson.
Yeah,
Yep.
that makes sense. Okay. Yep. That was off by 100.
Yeah. Having said all the things I said, I do
Oh,
feel inclined.
oh,
Fuck it. Clemson.
there you go. Damn
Clemson
it.
300.
There you go. There you
But
go.
I will be on record that I think that Duke could surprise us, right? Despite what I said. And if they do, it will be because the Duke defense blew up the Clemson offense. That will be
That's a
how
hot
that game.
take.
Yes.
That's a hot take.
There it is. The
What?
take
You
was
think
hot.
that's the side of the ball is going to decide it?
Yes.
You don't. Are you
No,
just
I'm
like,
saying if they win, that's what will have happened.
so you don't think, are you super low on Duke's offense or super high on Clemson's defense? The other side of it.
I think they're going to be reasonably well matched, and I think the game's can be won on the other side,
Okay.
won or lost. Yeah.
That's why that's the opposite reason kind of why I picked Clemson, because I think Garrett Riley and Kay Kublik and Will Shipley don't have receivers, but that offense is going to be nails this season. So I just think they're going to destroy them. So I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the
Okay.
only way that Duke wins is if their defense somehow steps up and neutralizes the Clemson offense, right?
Okay.
With the new coordinator, a new young quarterback, no receivers, right? Like all this stuff, Mike Elko, defensive
Okay.
mind, right?
Okay.
So that's the side of the ball that's going to decide this game, right?
Okay.
So
Fair enough. Fair
that's
enough.
right. I don't think Clemson can lose if their offense
Yeah. If their
is
offense is
firing
clicking,
on. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think they can lose. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Okay. 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 I thought I misunderstood because I was like, yeah, if Clemson, if Garrett Riley is what he's supposed to be, there's no way that offense slowly figures it out. They're gonna be going immediately. Yeah. Okay. I got you.
Well,
Damn.
I have been
Five for
Eric.
five. 5 for 5. That's some bullshit.
I did pretty well. What can I say? I should
That's
get
some
some extra
bullshit.
dollars for that.
That's some
Uh,
bullshit. You watch. This is the problem now. I think we took the same lines except for LSU. We're gonna go over 5. Like that's just gonna happen now. See the writing on the wall?
Florida and Utah was the only difference.
You have a Utah?
Yeah, I had Utah.
Okay. No,
Damn, yeah.
now,
We had the same lines on everything else.
yeah. Now
But they're
we're
not the same money, so it doesn't mean
the
that
money
we'll.
changes it, yeah. But
Yeah,
no, watch. We're gonna split those games and then we're gonna lose the other 3. We're gonna go 1-4. Watch.
yeah, there you
Because
go.
you were so good. I see the writing on the wall. Fuck me.
I have been Eric,
This worst Bircho.
and this was totally biased. We'll see you next week.